Hello, Birmingham. How are you guys doing tonight? Yay. Okay, we're still alive. So my name is Igor. I'm the creator of BlueWallet. So let's talk about Lightning. Okay, so Lightning is a solution to Bitcoin scaling problem. As we all know, Bitcoin currently handles like 7 transactions per second max, or like 9, I don't remember. Well, it's not enough, obviously. So Lightning is one of the proposals to scale Bitcoin transaction through output. It's not the only one. Of course, we all know about big blocks, like let's just increase blocks, or let's decrease time between blocks, or let's transfer to proof of stake, or sharding, or master nodes, or whatever. So just be aware there are different scaling solutions, and this is one of them. To understand Lightning, let's go to basics, like to Bitcoin transaction. Bitcoin transaction is essentially a set of inputs and a set of outputs, where inputs represent coins being spent, and outputs represent new owners of those coins. But to be more specific, each output is actually a tiny script, which is called Bitcoin script, which controls who can spend this output. So basically, this tiny script tells us the following: the one who has the correct private key is worthy to spend me. So this is an example how we spend coins which belong to us. We have the correct private key, we sign the new transaction, and we're eligible to spend this output. So this is a transaction spending outputs from other transaction. So there are different kinds of Bitcoin script. You can write your own Bitcoin script if you really want. So there are other useful Bitcoin scripts like Multisig. So before that, we witnessed the single sig. So it's required to have one signature to spend the output. Now let's imagine we have a multisig which requires several signatures to be able to spend the output. This is usually written as m out of n. So if you have at least m private keys, you're allowed to spend some output. So let's take a look at the example of multisig. So very typical multisig, which is 2 out of 3, is called escrow smart contract. It's used for escrow. So imagine if Alice and Bob want to do business together. They both lock 5 coins each in a multisig, 2 out of 3. And they give 1 private key to Charlie. So Alice gets 1 private key, Bob gets 1 private key, and they give 1 private key to Charlie. So if they do business together, they have no issues with each other. They create new transaction to spend those 10 coins, and they both sign it, and transaction goes through. If they have issues with each other, they take their issues to Charlie, and Charlie gonna act like judge, and Charlie gonna decide who's right and who's wrong in this situation, and Charlie with his private key gonna sign either transaction of Alice, either transaction of Bob, and this essentially resolves the conflict. So this is a very useful example of multisig. Next, payment channels is very similar to multisig. Kind of exactly like multisig, with different properties. So imagine Alice and Bob, they both lock their coins in a smart contract, and they can redeem those coins from this smart contract. Except this time, this smart contract has states, and they can issue different states, let me rephrase that. So this state channel, this multisig has states. So in the initial state, they can get back as much as they committed to this state channel. Like if Alice committed 5 coins, she can get back 5 coins. So the states means that they can issue a new state, they can agree on it, and with this new state, they can get back different amount of coins. So imagine they issue state number 2, and Alice gets back 4 coins, and Bob can get back 6 coins. This is essentially Alice paying Bob, because Alice has less and Bob has more. They can issue another state where Alice has 3 and Bob has 7, and this is again Alice paying Bob. So there are several curious properties here. First of all, state is agreed only between Alice and Bob. It's not written to blockchain. There's no footprint in blockchain. It's super easy to agree on the new state. It takes like less than a second. And it's practically impossible to go to a previous state. So once you reach state number 4, for example, you cannot go back to state number 3, practically. So there's a finality in this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a payment channel, which is the basics of Lightning Network. So this is how it's usually visualized. So imagine Alice and Bob committed 5 coins each in a smart contract, in a payment channel. And you draw them as a nodes and the connection between those nodes, and you draw some bits which represent coins, how much they committed. So Alice committed 5 and Bob committed 5. And now they can transact by moving those bits on this string from left to right, and vice versa. This is an archaic calculator machine from my childhood, so this is how I always visualize payment channels in my mind. But strings and bits actually are better representation. So we're talking about network, which means there are more than 2 people participating, right? So Alice, Bob, and Charlie, and they all have connections between each other. So in this example, Alice is connected to Bob, Alice has a payment channel with Bob, and Bob has a payment channel with Charlie. So the curious thing here, I'm not going to go into details, but Alice can actually pay Charlie. What's happening is actually Alice paying Bob and asks Bob to pay Charlie, and they can do this trustlessly. So with the network, people who participate in this network, people who have smart contracts, they can pay each other through the Lightning Network. So we've established how Lightning Network works very briefly. Let's go through properties of Lightning Network. Well, first of all, it works. It's no longer a theoretical concept. It works. It handles real money. And it's lightning fast, if you pardon the pun. And transactions are practically final and irreversible. And coins which are inside the Lightning Network are exactly the same Bitcoins as regular Bitcoins. There's no conversion rate. There's no peg. Sometimes people think like, oh, how do I buy Lightning coins? I want to participate. Like, is there an ICO or something? No, there is no conversion rate, there is no peg. But there are several properties which make some people think that coins inside the Lightning Network are more valuable than regular Bitcoins. Well, first of all, payments inside the Lightning Network are very anonymous. It works through onion routing, which means when the node routes the payment, this routing node sees only the previous node and the next node, but not the source of the coins, not the destination. What's being paid for, who pays whom, the routing node does not know, because it's encrypted onion packet. And since it's encrypted, nobody logs it, and there is no centralized data of whole transaction history of Lightning Network. There is none. So if someone will get de-anonymized accidentally in the future, it won't be possible to go back through blockchain and see what he was paying for, who he was transacting with. There's no such data. It's quite anonymous. So this is why some people think that coins inside the Lightning Network should be valued more than regular Bitcoins. And also, people always say that with Lightning Network, there are two transactions involved, on-chain transactions, like opening a channel and closing a channel. To my experience, you don't need the closing transaction. You just need opening transaction, because economy grows. There is no incentive to move your coins out of payment channels to regular Bitcoin scripts. Well, this list kind of looks like a selling points of a cool new altcoin. You can take it and slap it on ICO page, landing page, and start selling tokens, but please don't do this. Because Lightning Network efficiently renders 99% of altcoins obsolete. But when I say altcoins, I really mean shitcoins. I'm just being polite. So the bottom line is, if your business already accepting cryptocurrency, you can start accepting Lightning and get a bunch of benefits. So you're getting real Bitcoins. After you're transacted with altcoins, you usually convert them to Bitcoins. With Lightning Network, you don't have to do this. It's instant, it's irreversible, it's a win-win for you and for your customers. So how scalable is it? I did some numbers. So one payment channel can make up to 200 transactions per second, and people say that Visa can handle 24 transactions per second worldwide. So I did some silly math, and looks like whole Lightning Network can do 30 times more transactions than Visa. Well, this is not correct comparison. So this is just a silly number. Just wanted to share this number with you. This is not really correct, but it's funny to do this exercise. Okay, let's talk about bad stuff in Lightning Network. Well, first of all, when you're opening a channel, the remote node won't commit coins with you. So you're opening a channel with coins from your side and 0 coins from the other side. Because if you're random nobody from interwebs, like nobody wants to log their coins with you. This is how it looks visualized. So Alice opened a channel with Bob, and all coins are on Alice's side. So Alice can only pay. Alice cannot get paid by Bob. So it should be solved with dual channels, dual-funded channels, but it's not there yet. Technically, it's not hard to make dual-funded channels, but the problem is with the incentive. There is no incentive to commit coins with some random party from internet. So this means no incoming capacity when you're just starting Lightning Network. You cannot get paid, but there is a bunch of tricks or even paid service to get incoming capacity. So the bottom line is you either maintain some efforts to get incoming capacity or you use a payment processor. And there is a bunch of payment processors. Personally, I see no problem in using payment processors, even if they are custodial. Well, it's business that helps other businesses, and I admire that. Next, currently channel size is capped to 0.16 Bitcoins, and payment size is, I think, quarter of that amount. This is developer's limitation. It's not principle, so it will be lifted. But when it will be lifted, we just do not know. It's up to developers when they will see that it's not reckless anymore to participate in Lightning Network. So the bottom line is, if your average order is less than $100, then you're good to go. If more, then not. Like I can give you an example. An airline tickets reseller approached me and said, like, we want to start accepting Lightning. How do we do that? And I said, like, guys, how much is your average order size? You're selling avia tickets, you're selling hotel tickets. I'm guessing thousands of dollars average order size. This won't fly. So you get the pun? Like airline tickets won't fly. Yeah, so. Well, it's not a principal limitation, but we cannot plan around this. There's no roadmap when this limitation will be lifted. And network consists of mostly enthusiasts at the moment with small capacity channels, and sometimes payments do not go through. And it's more reliable to receive payments than send payments. And nodes have to stay online all the time. Well, today I said that payments are practically final and irreversible in Lightning Network. There is but in this. So your node has to stay online all the time because security model in Lightning Network is active as opposed to Bitcoin base layer, which is passive. Well, you just sit on your ass and wait for miners to mine blocks and you're secure. You don't have to do anything. In Lightning, you have to monitor the state of your payment channels and catch if someone tries to cheat on you. So this means that your node has to stay online all the time. And Lightning economy at the moment is not huge. So if you're thinking that you'll start Lightning Network business and it will fly and you'll get rich, this won't work. So you better focus on building a real business first and then think about payment processing later. Lightning Network economy cannot grow faster than base layer, obviously. And I actually expect that we'll see real advantages of Lightning Network when we'll see the next bull run, when fees again on the base layer will be super high, and people will be thinking, okay, I can pay with Lightning for this, so I will save a lot if I will use Lightning instead of layer 1. So, and as the final thought, I think that layer 1 is still more important than layer 2, because we can basically afford losing layer 2, it's still an experiment, but we cannot afford losing layer 1. And some people think that offline payments will fly with Lightning Network. I think it won't, because we have a huge infrastructure built with fiat money in real world. Like this is an example. My collection of cards that I used to pay around the world. My favorite one is Suica in Tokyo, where I just walk to vending machine. I press a button and slap my card on this sensor, and I get my bottle of water. I don't think anything can top this up. Like, I don't think Lightning will top this up because I will have to open my wallet to scan some QRs, hope that internet works. This won't fly. And there's a future of Lightning. There's cool new developments. The bottom line, they're super technical, so just don't go through them. You won't understand them. Just wait till they're actually released, because they're mostly like proof of concepts at the moment. So right now, Lightning Network serves small merchants because, as I said, payment sizes are hard-capped. Serving small over-the-counter exchanges like Zigzag. And receiving Lightning Network payments is very reliable and convenient. It's fast, it's cheap. If you're receiving, if you're sending, there are more issues for you. So what I expect next is that anytime soon, channel limits will be lifted, and we'll see medium-sized merchants join the party. We'll see increase of average order size, and actually, what I really expect is really looking forward to is onboarding bigger exchanges like Bitstamp, for example. I know for sure they have their research and development department working on Lightning, BitMEX experimenting with Lightning. So once we'll have limitations lifted, I think they will join the party, and this will be a game changer, like exchange-to-exchange clearing. But what really excites me is that Lightning Network can work in limited connectivity in remote places in the world. So this is a live map of all Lightning nodes in the world, how they're connected. But imagine we're living in a remote island where internet connectivity is very limited. So, and we want to transact with Bitcoin. How do we do that? Well, you open a channel, wait for it to confirm. We have a bunch of services that allow you to transact on-chain with limited connectivity. So you craft a transaction offline, you broadcast it via SMS, and imagine this transaction is an opening transaction for Lightning Network. And once it's confirmed, you can monitor opening through Blockstream satellites. Actually, Bitcoin is the only blockchain that's broadcasted from space through satellites. So you can monitor that, and once your channel is opened, you can transact on in remote places in the world, on some island. So this brings me further, like, what if I live on Mars, and I want to buy Marsachino in Mars box on Mars, and I want to pay with Bitcoin? How do I do that? Well, with regular Bitcoin, it will be super inconvenient. We have time lag of signal. It takes like 15 minutes to travel for signal from Mars to Earth. So sending transactions to Earth is not convenient. Mining on Mars is also not convenient because it will be efficiently a chain split. Like while you're mining a block on Mars, someone releases the new block on Earth, and you've just mined the invalid block. This means an orphan block. So mining in this situation is not viable. So the only solution here is actually open a payment channel with the remote party who is also on Mars, and then transact on Mars. And this is the only way I know that can make cryptocurrency work in such harsh environments. Actually, there's a lot of altcoins that promise you that there are better payment systems, that are cheaper, that are faster, but none of them actually plan and design to work in very harsh, very unfriendly environments. And this is the only viable way, as far as I know, that's actually planning for such environments. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So a couple of words about BlueWallet. BlueWallet is a Lightning-enabled Bitcoin wallet for iOS and Android. We've had like 30 or 40,000 downloads already, more than 100,000 transactions in Lightning. We have Apple Watch integration. We're completely open source. We have a roadmap on GitHub. And shoot me an email if you have any questions. Or if you have any questions now, I would be happy to answer them now.
Questions? No? Have you a plan to allow people to run Connect BlueWallet to their own node so they can self-host?
Actually, that was enabled from the day one. You can go to your settings in the wallet and connect to your own node. Yeah.
What do you think about the economic viability of running a channel for Lightning? As far as I know at the moment, it's not very... Basically, you have to pay the costs because you don't get enough transaction fees to sustain the channel.
Are you speaking about routing fees?
Sorry?
Are you speaking about making money through routing?
Well, at the moment, if you have a channel, right, you have to host the infrastructure, which costs money. And unless you can at least break even from hosting the channel, it's not economically viable, is it, to run in the future?
Well, it might be viable if you're opening only high-value channels, like maximum allowed channels. Then with this one channel, you can transact a lot back and forth and don't ever close this channel. So time will tell if it's viable, because once we'll see the next bull run and fees will rise again, there's no telling will people even use Bitcoin, because with $20 per transaction, people thinking maybe I should look for alternatives for altcoin. So we'll see how this will work out.
Any other questions? No? All right, one more time for Igor. Yeah.